From Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
It has to be directly related to the academic mission of what we're trying to do, and that's educate students. Anything outside of that really is inappropriate.
Setting boundaries for teachers in the Fargo School District. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Stephanie is off. Teachers, parents, and students in Fargo can expect to see changes regarding teacher-student relationships. The move comes on the heels of West Fargo teacher Aaron Knodel being accused of having a sexual relationship with a student back in 2009. Valley News Team's Krista Boehm explains how the Fargo School District is changing its staff conduct policies to reflect the times.
Phone calls, text messages, social media, emails, everything at your fingertips. Any time of day. It's changed the way students and teachers work together.
The proliferation of all the different types of modes of communication in today's world has just exploded.
It's constant communication that can be helpful when it comes to education and activities.
We've had coaches and athletes in programs for years communicating, you know, about when's the bus leaving, is the practice canceled, those types of things.
But that's not always the case. Fargo Superintendent Dr. Schott says their policies needed to reflect the times, and that's why they adjusted, even added policies that lay out prohibited behaviors. One pointing out any activity that may lead to a sexual relationship, such as a non-school related electronic communication, and any sexual relationship between employee or volunteer and students or former students, regardless of their age.
If it's focused on the academic coursework, if it's during appropriate times, you know, not late at night, you know, during regular hours and those types of things, then there could be a place for that, and there probably is an okay place for that.
Schott says it needed to be laid out in writing to create a boundary in every form of communication.
It sometimes is unclear as to what should that communication be.
There was no objection or discussion from board members, so the policies as presented will be in place at the start of this school year. Krista Boehm, Valley News Live.
Meanwhile, with school set to start in West Fargo in a couple of weeks, supporters of Aaron Knodel are out. Tonight, about 20 carried signs in front of the West Fargo Cheyenne High School. Valley News Live has learned that Knodel will be teaching there this coming year. Last month, the West Fargo School Board reinstated Knodel on a unanimous vote. He had earlier been acquitted on the 5 charges relating to that sexual relationship accusation with a student 6 years ago. Earlier today, a trio of protesters stood in front of West Fargo High School, upset with the district's decision to bring Knodel back this coming school year. One of the signs reading 93 phone calls. Another said say no, spelled K-N-O. And another, how many victims will it take? Ed Clapp Elementary in South Fargo is ready to go. Classes will begin this year with nearly 500 students and a full staff. The new principal tells us the school has been welcomed not only by the community, but by some families who first had issues with district changes and moving the kids to different schools.
Some of the families who had initially petitioned thinking they wanted to stay in the school they had currently been attending, they've now withdrawn their petitions and are wanting to attend Ed Clapp. So I think it's part of that excitement of seeing it go up in their backyard and just really getting excited about the process.
You still will see work being done outside the school right up to classes beginning in just a few weeks. There are plenty of funding requests, but not enough money for all of them. And it's up to the Minnesota Housing Board Committee to decide who gets what. MSUM is looking to renovate its Center for the Arts building, Weld Hall, and several other buildings. This year, there's $3.2 billion worth of requests for bonding funds throughout the state of Minnesota, but the committee will only be able to approve about 1/4 of those.
So it's really important for the community to get out and actually look at these projects, get our eyes on them, so to speak, so that we have a better concept of what the projects are, how important they are to the community. We're also kind of gauging community support. Community support makes a big difference, both financial support and spirit support. If people are really interested in these projects, it lends them a little more weight.
The committee will know which projects will be funded in a couple of weeks. Funeral arrangements have been set for a 26-year-old woman after a tragic boat crash near Devil's Lake this past weekend. Funeral mass for April Stenger will be held this coming Thursday, 10:30 in the morning at Sacred Heart Catholic Church. That's in Frazee, Minnesota. Burial will be followed at the Sacred Heart Catholic Cemetery. Visitation will be held at the Sacred Heart Church tomorrow from 4 to 7 in the afternoon. A move to crack down on terrorism. It's coming to the Valley. Billboards in the area will soon say, if you see something, say something. It's part of a national campaign to spot acts of terrorism. We talked with a local terrorist expert today who was surprised the effort is now just coming to the Valley. He says it's promoting an active approach to fight terrorist attacks.
Crime in general, sometimes we have a hard time getting people to report things because they, what they saw is ambiguous. They're not sure that it was anything. They don't want to get anyone in trouble. They don't want to really get involved, especially if it was nothing.
Campaign ads are already in some local airports and post offices around the state, and there are plans for more. If you see something suspicious, you're asked to contact local law enforcement. A recent investment seminar held in Fargo is raising some questions. Mark Diamond is one of the participants of last week's senior retirement workshop. He's listed as an agent for National Western Life Insurance Company. It's the same company that paid out over $17 million to over 3,000 elderly citizens to settle a class action lawsuit. The lawsuit said that the company was unfairly targeting senior citizens. We tried contacting Mark Diamond. He was unavailable for comment.
They prey on the fears of people, and then when you do that, then they come back and they offer some solutions that usually involve paying them some money.
Myers adds that you should be wary of people who swoop into town, collect your check, and then head out of town again. It's Tuesday. That means it's time for another restaurant report card. And this week, we're going to focus in on the West Fargo area. Valley News Team's Christine Stanwood reports.
Border Town restaurant off of Main Avenue in West Fargo is our first offender. After speaking with management, they are correcting a critical violation the restaurant received from the health department about an unclean grease trap. Side Street Bar and Grill in downtown Fargo is hard at work to fix a critical violation. The manager says that a can opener was not properly cleaned while the inspection was underway. He says he takes this violation seriously and wants to work toward being a future Valley News Clean Award recipient, which leads us to this week's winner. Smiling Moose Deli off 45th Street in West Fargo receives this week's Clean Plate Award after having no violations. General Manager Mark Arnold says that he credits his staff for the award.
Well, I think it's really cool. It's a testament to what I teach all my employees here at the restaurant, and they're excited about it.
Arnold also suggests trying a Mighty Mo the next time you stop in the Smiling Moose. In Fargo, Christine Stanwood, Valley News Live.
If you want to see this report again or other restaurant report cards, head to our website at valleynewslive.com. The United Way and many volunteers teamed up to distribute thousands of backpacks to school supplies to families in need. 5,200 backpacks filled with school supplies were donated this year. Today's event marked the second and final of two distributions where families in need could stop by the Fargo Dome to pick up a backpack full of school supplies. The backpacks and the supplies were donated by the United Way and the community. Even in this business, you don't run into a well-known network reporter and anchor very often. Harry Smith's in town featuring the historic Moorhead Dairy Queen because of the recent buzz surrounding the restaurant. This Dairy Queen has been open since 1949, and because its 66-year-old contract is still in effect, it doesn't have to follow all of the current franchise rules. That means they can serve a mixture of throwback items and newer treats that are approved by the corporation. At this time, NBC Nightly News doesn't know when the episode featuring Harry will be aired. We'll be sure to let you know when it does. Speaking of Harry, I had a chance to sit down this afternoon and talk with him. Look for that story Thursday night on Valley News Live.
Valley News